The Conceited Knowbody. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m.
What's up, what's up, what's up? We back with another edition of the best podcast you never heard of, The Conceited Knowbody. This is episode 138.
Damn,
Over here, you
I
are.
thought you about to say 35 or some shit like that.
Hey, man,
That's
listen,
crazy.
for real. You already know this is Latour's, aka the Low Key Legend, aka I got a new one. Dark Skin Thanos. Dark Skin Thanos. Dark Skin Thanos. I got the glove. I got the Infinity Stones. You already know what it is, though. We about to get off into it. To my right, we got the man who make it happen. Renaissance motherfucking Juvie in the house. He's here chilling, laid back. Hey.
Tatar got the motherfucking luxury mics in this bitch now, so I can do my thing in this motherfucker, really, get in my mode.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man. Look,
I
hold on.
might get up on the motherfucker, do some shit like this. I'm back like that.
That's odd, this motherfucker. What's that? Waka Flocka something? Is it Waka?
What's the, oh, let's do it? There's some other shit, some new shit.
Hold on.
While just bumping down the stairs?
Nah, that was your guy. Come on, motherfucker. Side pop with that motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. It's your thing called?
You know that mic with no hands. Go ahead, son. Do your thing.
I was trying to make it. I was like, look, man, let's go back to the joke.
He waiting for his shit there. The side, shout out to the side. The side of this motherfucker for y'all ain't never heard, y'all remember that motherfucking voice.
No hands.
Hey, that's all, aka no hands.
No hands.
Hey, bro.
Hey, I thought about put the leg over his shit. Hey, I'm getting saucy in this motherfucker, man. Hey, Rico, hey, I'm glad his leg was itching, nigga. But no, we about to have a fantastic show again. This is 138. Hey,
They ain't paying attention to all kind of shit.
hey, man, I'm distracted by disturbances. But no, we up here with episode 138. I titled this one, and we're gonna get into it. First, we gotta get our familiarities out of the way. This is 138, and I titled it "Are We Protecting?" And I put protecting in quotation marks. Are we as black men protecting black women? And before we get into it, matter of fact, let's just get what's been going on with y'all?
Man, shit, cooler. Motherfucker been cooler. Training. Really real ordinary since I'm back at work. So I get up and go to work, and then trying to stay consistent going to the gym every day, and then trying to fit all my other shit into that script. So I'm basing everything around work and boxing right now. Trying to, the art, trying to get back to my art, just trying to get my creativity back there so I can come up with new ideas, fresh ideas. I feel like my ideas and shit was nothing. You feel me? Like I ain't even been on my Kodak Juvie, none of that, my camera, none of that shit, because it's like I don't have any, like I'm blank. I'm just drawing blanks and that shit, so I'm trying to like explore my creativities, do other shit, so I can kind of refresh and come back to it.
You can travel more.
You shot me traveling?
You was traveling.
Yeah, I went to.
Man, that's about fucking 3 weeks ago, nigga. You the only one that ain't been here. We done talked about all that shit.
I've been on my side. I have been on my side shit. I went to LA twice. I went to Tennessee.
No, your Instagram late. Your Instagram delayed.
Oh, no, you was at Ruth Chris. You have a steakhouse.
So I think you took a plane to Roof Chris.
Hey, no, I thought he was still somewhere exotic. I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, I done hit that motherfucker about 4 times and it ain't stopped, nigga. No, it ain't. But nah, shout out to South. I think the Roof of Chris is in LA. I'm fucking with you. No, that's a lie. I should have been well prepared. That's cool.
A little muscle.
But no, what's up though? Saw what you been up to, man?
Man, I've been in a box.
Would you care to share who this lovely lady's box is?
Hey, I've been in the back room just chilling out, man. I ain't really doing much.
No hoes? I ain't
No
gonna say you might have a
females.
lady. I ain't
No
gonna call her a hoe.
ladies.
I ain't gonna call her a hoe.
I ran into a few familiar people.
trying to come back into your life.
The diary
I
of
don't
the
know.
sauce agree.
They just,
Weird.
it's cool. We went and got some hookah down in Broad Ripple. Broad Ripple's still light back up. They got a lot of black people in
I
Broad
see you was
Ripple.
in the city. I thought you got a town with it.
I see, you know that. She up there in Fishers, but I'm down to Broad Ripple. It's good to see all the black folk back out again, out people.
You said in Broad Ripple.
Man, they out deep.
You said that's where you been at?
That was where I went.
Okay.
Like that. They out deep. Nowhere to go. So if you're an entrepreneur out there, you look for some money, black folk ready to go somewhere. And what they want is a hookah bar. They want a lounge. You know, all of them, you see like this wave. We was leaving, man. You see this wave of like 100 niggas coming down. They was just looking. You know, you look at each spot and Broad Ripple was like, nope, not for us, not for us, not for us. And they finally get to the end, turn back around, went the other way. So,
So you said, well, no place for you?
no place for them, you know. I mean, like that young
That's
crowd.
That's how Broad Ripple always been.
Pistols on them,
Broad Ripple.
smoking the blunt. Everybody had a red cup. I'm like, man, what the fuck going on? Like,
I never understood I understand it more now, so all the desire to have that white hug, niggas want to be all around white people. It's some people hold Broad Ripple with a standard that's so high that it's sickening. Niggas think that
they don't got nowhere to
made
go though.
Yes, they
No,
do.
I
Take
say
your
that,
ass fucking
take
home.
Right. But when it's
Partying is
to
not a
going out,
necessity.
they can't get away with that movement like that in downtown because you get that one little strip and it's not really conducive for it. You can't just bounce around. They need a strip for niggas to be able to just go chill out. Or
And then the females, that's what the females do. So they
have
definitely
a
gonna go.
black-owned businesses on Broad Ripple or somewhere nearby where you can just throw up a
Is it?
little lounge.
Are you talking about partying or are you talking about making money?
Making money. I'm talking about making
So
money.
when you say there's nowhere to go, like, why do you want to take your business to Broad Ripple when historically they haven't wanted niggas
I
to Broad
wouldn't
Ripple?
say go to Broad Ripple, but I'm just knowing that a lot of the people in that frequent the other spots. So I would put my spot there so that they can do that choosy. You know, they pass by mine. Because everybody just, like you said, it goes back to everybody feel like Broad Ripple's the best ever. They come down there and they look. They always look. We always look like niggas on phones about, bro, it's dead. I'm like, it's always dead. You know, but
Is Broad Ripple too congested for you? Like when there's some shit going on, you'll
Yeah,
be too hard
that
to move.
motherfucker all in one spot.
yeah, but
That
people like
motherfucker
that
could be.
feeling.
That motherfucker could be. Yeah, for sure. Cause that's how they can call it what it is. They can put all those things in that one space. Now if they space it out, it'll be like. It'll just be like.
Yeah.
You go to the hookah bar?
I do. That's the only spot for us, man. I went in there and about
My lady like going in there, so I go in there.
all the girls since that's one about topic. All of them was in there, bro. I was in there. I'm like, it was weird, like not weird in a bad way, but like, wow, all the niggas here. Like this is hookah, like that. You know, the air's running around playing the music, but it's like 30 people outside waiting.
I figure
man.
some niggas be in there with some weird shit. I ain't gonna say some weird shit.
It's a
They might
kickback.
check out- It be some little ladies in there.
It's a
sometimes,
kickback
too.
spot. It's a spot where niggas can stop and look without being charged to cover.
Yep,
or getting their head
the
busted
thing,
at the
too.
bar.
I forgot you can sit outside too.
Yeah.
So niggas sitting inside by himself, I don't know, them niggas just like smoking hookah by himself.
At
But
downtown
if you
spot.
sitting outside, you know, you gay, whatever, dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't nothing into hookah now by myself, nigga, smoking.
You been there by yourself, haven't you?
Hell yeah.
When you were in the hookah, I want you to be honest with our
I
friends.
know about
Okay. Now, do you like make videos like smoke your hookah, listen to music and shit?
Oh, like rap music? Rap
Yeah,
music?
I'm
yeah,
telling
yeah, whatever you want to lip sync to, do you record yourself lip
Do
syncing
I?
while you doing hookah?
I have a videographer. I do. Somebody's recording.
Yeah.
Somebody's recording.
So you be in there blowing
Paparazzi
you
get
be
me,
in there
bro.
blowing smoke like a
I'll
bad
be-
bitch.
I'll be like, nah, man, y'all gotta back up, bro.
So I'll be there like some bad Muslim
Man,
bitch.
he talking about my photo shoots in Houston. Anytime I'm in Houston, yeah, I'm getting a photo of the singer because we don't have that up here, man. Just a place to just go be. Which is our people sing.
What you do this weekend? Shit. Was that when you was at Maripple?
Nah, you Friday, that was really the weekend. Man, shout out to little dude just graduated. My guy I coached when he was back in 7th, 8th grade. Graduated high school. So he's a little school around here called Manchester College.
Manchester. That's up north, man.
Yeah, up
Manchester. I'm gonna tell you why Manchester stand out. That's where Steve Alford went. what the coach after he left IU in the league and shit. That's why it rang a bell for me and shit. Shout out to him. Time flied on it. I remember you was coaching and shit. Asad was in his fucking 20s with his fucking shirt tucked into his fucking.
Yeah.
No. Listen, I got the picture still.
You gotta tell us.
It's a pullover. It's a jacket, a final pullover. No, he had it tucked into his sweatpants.
Like that,
It's
a polo.
Yeah, it was a polo.
It's athletic polo. The coach's polo with the athletic joggers. You know what I mean? The Jordan jogging suit. That's Kobe style,
I
baby.
said, man,
You remember Kobe?
Hey, listen, this nigga's supposed to be the cool coach. He a mixture because he dressed like he was coaching in the 40s, but he smelled like reefer. So it was confusing to everybody around. It was a great ploy to throw everybody off. But no, I thought Asad was going to be. I thought I was going to be able to call Asad at this point in time and be like, hey, Asad, I need tickets to the such and such game. Have you talked with LeBron? I thought that was how our conversation was going to consist of. But here we are. On the podcast.
It's a weird journey for that coaching.
You ever got any like aspirations to get back into coaching?
Yeah. And then it ended with a little guy.
Yeah.
So
you was trying to jelly bean your way back into the league. Speaking of basketball, real quick, before we get to our listed topic, NBA starting back Thursday. They're playing in the bubble. Lakers playing the Clippers, and I think New Orleans is playing Utah. Lou Williams, Atlanta nigga, ATL here. You see what he did?
South from that.
You see what happened? He about your age, ain't he? Look.
Nah, he is stepping away from. Yeah, he is. He stepping away from personal issues.
You ain't okay. Now let's see what this personal issue consists of. They not supposed to leave the bubble unless it's emergency type shit. He left. I don't know what underground he left, but he was spotted at a strip club. Now he can't play for. He can't play for like.
You trying to say he's going chicken wings?
Nigga said he gets some chicken wings. He said, "Why y'all mad at me? Because I get chicken wings."
They got the best chicken wings in the strip
perfect
club.
fucking victim. He a billionaire. Everywhere's a strip club. All chicken wings are fantastic.
They're different. They hit different.
Do you think it's being immature?
Nah.
You don't think it's being immature? That's a solid answer. For you not to see that as an immature thing, that's a solid answer.
Because you're putting the maturity on the fact that he got to stay in the bubble because somebody told him to.
You at work. He's at work. Don't act like he's somebody who just fucking walking down the street. Nigga said get in the bubble or come and walk. If you go to Walmart, this nigga's at
My
work.
My job can't tell me to stay in the office. You know.
If you want to work there. If you want to work there.
Scenario.
He's not in a crisis scenario. He's an NBA
Why you
player.
make
He's
this
an
trailer as a way.
He's an NBA player who's making millions of dollars. And you go into this quarantine doing that's what you're supposed to do. You don't think that's irresponsible and disrespectful to his teammates?
It's irresponsible. Disrespectful to the young ones who can't pull that off. That's really who's disrespectful.
When I say disrespectful, I'm saying you getting ready to go for the playoffs. You battling the Lakers, who I think #1 seed, if I'm not mistaken. You know it's going to be a tough fight for that #1 position. You are the sixth man on the team, perhaps one of the best six men in history. Your team is dependent on you bringing that firepower off the bench. It's not only disrespectful to you, but that's disrespectful to your veterans like Kawhi Leonard, your Paul George. It's people who depend on you and shit to make their job easy. So you don't think that's disrespectful to the team?
I mean, if you want to drag it out and be disrespect, like
he went.
I feel like he thought he was going to get away with it.
Okay. Even though he felt like he's getting away with it.
Because he moved.
It's a lot of times you do shit, you thought you were going to get away with it, but you know what's fucked up while you was doing it. So I got accountability for strong black
really. Because let him come back in and test and be like, look, you can't play unless you can pass the test.
We're in the midst of this fake pandemic, so you gotta fucking stay. Yeah.
But
just on some real shit, you a coach. Now let's put on your coaching polo tucked into your motherfucking
yeah, that's Carmel stuff taught me that, bro.
Listen, you was in Atlanta longer than you was in Carmel. I don't like the way you be colonized, nigga. You got colonized quick. But you the coach, and you coaching at the junior high in Richmond, and your star player, or one of your star players doing something, say for instance.
I got the answer already. I'm gonna fake his way back in. I got you, brother. Like, look.
You're the reason why college players get put on probation, nigga, because you pay your athletes and shit.
I'm gonna give him a talking to.
Stern.
Stern talk.
Okay,
Shout out
okay.
to my guy. But then after that, I'm just gonna be like, because half the time I don't believe in following policy, so that's my issue. So
I'll be seeing my question to
yeah,
you, nigga. You not
fire
gonna
drills,
ask
man. I
that
didn't
shit.
go nowhere on fire.
Javar, your coach, had you a boxing coach. You got a team where, you know what I'm saying, depending on points and shit, that the teams win. One of your key fighters who, if he win this fight, he got a chance for y'all as a team to win. And he out here knowing he got to make weight, but he sneak off and go eat a big ass meal and shit. And do you think that he's disrespecting the team?
You know that happen a lot. Does that happen?
Just
Big
because it
shot,
happened a
get
lot,
back
shit.
in there.
You know, the frequency don't make it right.
It might in a second. But is it?
How would you respond to that? Would you feel like he disrespected the team? Or let y'all down?
That case, yeah.
What about Lou Williams
That
case?
Williams. Yeah, so you weren't supposed to eat a bubble and you went to the strip club to get some chicken wings.
Only niggas can make chicken wings and shit the good reason. It was chicken, nigga. It was fried. And I'm sure you see some watermelon on the way. You act like it was a trap set for him, man. It was chicken.
Lil Will threw the chicken wings in there just to justify.
Hey, man, like, man. They had
Yeah,
the Chico sticks.
I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, that was kind of like, cause you just gotta think. If I get caught, what the fuck they gonna say? You could have got caught at like Popeyes or some shit. You feel me? Like you get caught somewhere really getting something to eat. Don't get caught
Look
at
Wood,
the strip club
who
getting
had two
something to eat.
girls at the same time, so
Yeah, I
he's
feel
not
it.
worried about him.
I
He
feel
In
was.
terms of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
Like
your girlfriend.
it just depends on the caliber of the character. Like if that's if that he don't that's him and you only give a fuck about
And
that,
that's just what I feel
then
like.
that's cool. But
Yeah.
if you like you really y'all was trying to go and win this shit and you was on the team, you cared about that shit, then you wrong. You
Playoffs
wrong
already
for
started?
shit.
Is it just automatically start? Is some type of
Like,
fast
they
start?
having some kind of like
Like,
playing, like get players
So
back
this is
acclimated with playing. He got to take a few more tests, but he got to like take tests and shit. Get certain protocol you got to pass to get back admitted. This is the thing though.
That's all-
Y'all
that's
keep
all
y'all
we
keep
need
saying
on
he this
himself.
type of person. He's part of an entity. He's part of a collective thing where it's a team sport, so your
That's
teammates
why I like
dependent
team
on you.
sports.
I mean, even you on the team, if your
Yeah,
trainer
kinda,
dig,
not
if your
really,
trainer
though.
fucking up, it's gonna fuck up your camp. If your manager fuck up your money, it's gonna fuck up your mentality going into the fights. Once you in there, you by yourself. But
That's
it's a
why-
team behind you. Like,
that's why.
just hypothetically say Floyd Mayweather wouldn't be successful without Al Haymon being part of his team.
he did
See
that
what
on
I'm saying?
purpose.
That's
He
why it's
wasn't
hard.
on-
That's why it's
He
hard.
went to
That's why it
strip
is
club.
hard.
You
now.
know,
That
first
part
of
I
all-
respect the shit. I just nigga when you get regular ass like you going to the gym, I ain't really not like the amateurs on one class, but some on that side. But when you really start crossing the league, you definitely need that. It was like times in the amateurs where I was training by myself. I can go to a tournament and just have somebody coach my corner. You know, but
He won the first league.
you
but
can't do that shit on the pro side. Moving like that. But yeah, that shit crazy.
He just was bold. Everybody else went to Popeye and came back. He's like, because you know, if I walk in the strip club, NBA player, walk in the strip club during COVID, strippers ain't getting that many tips. You know, people don't know he there. So one of them things was like, it's cool. I'll just come back in and hit the test.
I mean, shit, I'll take, we take his accountability as long as he took his accountability. Like, don't try to like be friend from the situation and try to like downplay it. Just accept it for what it is. He just be like, fuck it. I fucked up. I went to strip club, got some chicken. Okay, fuck it. What now? You know what I mean? Like, just let it be at that. But don't try to like, oh, I did this because of this. I did this because of this. That's what I'm gonna be on. Like, I fucked up. Okay, I fucked up. Like, now what we gonna do now? Like, I ain't about to make no excuse for why I fucked up.
I don't even think he did all that. It just,
I don't know.
he
Shit, I
made
mean,
an executive
but
decision
shit, he
for
brought
his
up the
brand.
chicken wing though. You feel me? If that was the case, he just would have just left it.
He
at that.
said like matter of fact, like, hey man, how we listen to chicken wings? Like, nigga, it's bigger than what the fuck you did.
he
You
was
part
like,
of an organization.
He was
You at
like,
work.
he was like, y'all mad at me. The first dirt y'all brought up on me was going to get some chicken wings. Blase. But and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, but it's a lot of
But to some people, it's put
there's a
them at
lot.
risk.
I
though.
feel like there's a couple different fucking little things you can put into the whole case that will change the respect it.
Do you have his mask?
Overall, it's just like.
Would you wear a mask in the strip club?
I've always thought it was a good
You know,
idea
you
anyway.
chicks
Some
on
of
there,
those strippers for
You
you.
get the mask for the chicks.
Wait a minute. You in there. Once you in there, nigga, caution is thrown to the wind. You know, it's like,
But a mask could help cut down
What-
on
on what?
transmission of airborne
what?
smells.
He said airborne.
Have you smell a steak and bitch at the strip club?
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
musty.
I smell something
Like
else
she
far
was
beyond
working too
must.
hard.
Me and my buddy Chris had went to fucking Pure Fashion East. It's crazy. It's almost
No shout
fucking
out.
almost 20 years ago, and I'll never forget that pungent smell that attacked us. It's like she comes and hey, y'all want to dance? I said, bitch, take all this money, and never come back again. Don't you ever come back over here again. Hey, it was like where you didn't want to inhale through your nose for the rest of the evening. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather die from mouth air than nose air.
What was that spot? They had the boxing shit out there.
That
Out
was
west.
Cloud Nine. Yeah. It was. I don't know. Fuck it though. But look,
Yeah.
on a more unaccountable, where people don't hold themselves accountable, it's been a big surge in this thing, and we touched upon this last week. And the catalyst for this conversation today is Megan Thee Stallion, also known to some as Megan the Mule, depending on who you're talking to. But she, of course, she was the victim or alleged victim of some gunshots. And I say alleged because some people say that she didn't directly get shot, that she got hit with like ricochet items, like say shots hit the ground, pebbles jumped up, glass jumped up, hit her in her feet.
Yeah, she got shot.
No, she didn't. And I'm gonna tell you why I say this. Cause you don't get shot both your feet, be cool, nigga. Like she said, like, we gonna get into it. I mean, just, you sprained your fucking ankle, nigga. And you know how fucking out of condition you was from a sprained ankle. And if she got shot in 2 feet, and as according to her Instagram statement, she said that it didn't tear no ligaments, it didn't hit the bone or nothing. It's either that bitch's feet are thick as I think they are, or it was like shards of glass or whatever debris. Cause you like you been boxing and shit, you have injuries and shit that didn't consist of getting shot that was more dangerous. Yeah.
I mean, he had no real gun. A little lightweight gun or something.
What? I mean, I'm sure the close range. I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure.
They might have to talk about this shit.
I mean,
Like,
because-
they gotta talk about this. Like, what the fuck?
but she got on Instagram just the other day, and I'm gonna read some of the. And the thing I want to talk about is like it's what everybody talking about these days, and particularly a certain group of women. They say that black men don't protect black women, and I want to dive into that. But and this is in the context of what about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago when she got shot. After she got shot, it was a horde of people making jokes, myself included. And everybody, and she said it's not funny. Everybody starts saying it's not funny. It's not funny. One thing that people can't do, they can't dictate to you what's funny to you. There's no universal funny. You can't just laugh with somebody, or not laugh, or be mad with somebody you fuck with. It is funny as fuck.
Why get shot? Seriously.
It is funny as fuck. Because, I mean, it's like she got shot in her foot and we can relate it to Harlem Nights. If the bitch would got shot in her head, fuck, you gonna recover. Even in the shot in the head in about 6 months, I'd have had one for you. You know what I'm saying? They put the mule down. You know what I'm saying? Something that the mule twerks no more. Something childish. But the thing is, though, there's no authority on funny. You can't, there's no fun police, there's no laugh police. You can't stop somebody from laughing just because your friends say don't laugh. But anyway, it's not funny that she got shot, but it's funny that she got shot, if you understand what I'm saying. I didn't want her to get hurt, you know, some things like that, like worse than what she did. But anyway, she got on, and this is dated July the 17th, which is 11 days ago. So this was about 2 weeks ago when she got shot. She said, black women are sworn protected and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own. It might be funny to y'all on the internet. It's just another messy topic for you to talk about, but this is my real life and I'm real life hurt and traumatized. So the main thing, like I seen people reposting and saying like, and they highlighted the fact that she said black women are so unprotected, and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own.
Let me go push that shit out there.
When she's saying this, Asad, what do you think? And we're gonna go more into what's allegedly happening in this incident, but when you hear black women are unprotected, what does that mean for you, or what does it you know?
Two things come to mind. I feel like her music's gonna be up there with Maya Angelou's. I know why K-Bird sings. This is right in along the lines.
See, this how cuz you ain't did shit. And this why we needed this shooting to offer this fucking humor. Go ahead.
Because she, in all seriousness, she's saying they're gonna hold her up. And I'm joking, but they're gonna push the agenda because she made a good point. They do cliche make that move where it's I'll take the rap so my baby daddy can not go and do another bid, or I hold the drugs, and you know, Lil Wayne's got song Mona Lisa, you know, I lured them in the end. They just doing so much for the love of black men, but
the song is fucking ridiculous, by the way.
at the end of the day, we get up to the top and we become Kanye West. So, you know, leave, you know, protect them. Or in Tory Lane's case, he shot her on some drunk shit, and now she's got to be quiet because they're out in California. Well, he was drunk when they left.
But I'm talking about allegedly that he shot her.
He's a gunman.
He's a shooter.
He's a shooter. But you in Cali, man, that's felony. So she's got to be quiet because there's no animosity. If there was animosity, she would step out the way. She wouldn't snitch. But there's no animosity. And with a clear head, she knows the reputation is bigger. You know, getting off is bigger for both of them, money-wise. And so she got to be quiet. So she's holding stuff in once again. Y'all dusty black men. That's what the women want me to tell y'all. Saving us once again.
Real quick.
And then Breonna Taylor is the other half.
Tell me about that later. That's a good point. But let's go. And before we get to you, I just want to say this real quick. You said that, and I don't even think she was referring to in the context of the drug deal. She said black women are so unprotected. We say black women, you're encompassing everybody. Not every black woman is stashing dope in their pussy. So how can you qualify every black woman based on the decision that you as an individual made? If you said, I'm not going to tell this nigga shot me, how does that encompass all black women? Not all black men will tell you to put this kid cocaine asshole and shit and hope you don't get approached by the dogs. So when they say this, all black women are unprotected, like how do they refute that? When you say that's just your lifestyle. You live in a particular lifestyle where you living on edge, and even in this instance, you're not a victim. You are a volunteer.
Everybody who hears this gonna pick one instant where they were unprotected, and they agree.
And if
I see a lot of.
If they're being honest, would you say that they got in this situation themselves?
Heart is a tricky thing.
I'm not talking about a tricky thing. I'm talking about this shit that's
They
clear.
gonna say their feelings led them somewhere,
and this leads
they
to
felt like they were safe enough to go there with you. I know what you're saying.
And this will lead to my other point about the accountability of the situation. Like, so do you think that she's trying, when she says all women, that she's trying to get women on her side? And we are in a climate where women are always right. So if she get the women on her side, which it worked.
Nah, she's just a dramatic statement that's gonna be blown out of proportion. And all women gonna find some truth in it.
Do you think that sometimes we use our personal feelings and use it to reflect, or try to hope it reflects on the rest of society so everybody jump in with us?
Because you know the people
And this ain't just a woman thing.
who listen to her are now gonna agree with that. Like that's like when Lil Wayne said something cool in 09. I was like, man, he's right. Bro. Once all day, like
He said what?
once all day. Like
This
yeah,
nigga's
that
deep.
makes sense.
This nigga's Langston
And that's how
Hughes.
that's how they do when she say that. Like it's true. All women are, because I know my home girl and you know my home, and then it'll spread just like a hot song.
When you hear Jafar, what do you think? When you say that all black women are protected?
Man, just the ones we don't want to protect. I'm just gonna keep it plain and simple like that.
It's tough.
It's just what it is, you know, because it's like there's a certain percentage of us that represents who we supposed to be, and there's a certain percentage of us who's not. And they just out here wild. So it's like, fuck them motherfuckers for the most part, but like for a little half of you do want to save them. I hope that you can talk sense of them, and I hope they quit doing all that dumb shit they be doing. You know, so it's like, shit. to men, it's like shit. It's like you protect our women, like my women, my women, and then she got a few friends. Like she got some friends like this. These motherfuckers is stupid. And she got some friends like they some good women, and they got some good dudes. So we got, like I said, it's just those like we protecting the ones we gonna protect. You can't save everybody. Shit, I ain't trying to save everybody that's out here acting crazy. So I'm just gonna let your ass be thrown to the fire.
Goes back to the man though. As I was sitting there thinking about
This
like
is the
shit.
thing though. I'm let me add. This is the add though. You add on top of what I was gonna say, right? So there's a certain amount of us like men, right? Because we lead the way. So they look at shit we approve of, shit we don't approve of. But there's the certain ones that's in certain positions and spotlight that they look to, and then they approve of all these things that real like men don't really approve of that shit. So when they looking at them niggas that they doing that, it's like, and they've been pushed by the powers to be. So that's how they control the whole fucking situation.
Right. And that's why I say I think it goes back to the dad. Girls have a you can't blame me mentality. They tough to say, well, if you would have just done your part, I wouldn't have been out here like this. That's what they want to say. Because every girl has a father somewhere. Yeah. And so on that side,
For
it's
sure.
like
For sure.
the dads have to protect their daughters, brothers have to protect their sisters. Then eventually the relationship man has to protect the relationship woman. But it's tough, like, because it keep going back to us. But it's like, man, we know it because they say absentee fatherhood affects the boys, but we don't talk about how much it affects the daughters. We used to back in the day with shout out to strip club analogy again about all that. Like, but it's like that's
for sure.
and when they what's a fatherless boy meets a fatherless girl, you about to have a fucked up life.
When they say protect, what are they asking to be protected from? Because when you say if you say you're not being protected, and we don't have a woman here to speak on, so we're gonna go, off our assumptions. So what are they asking to be protected from?
So in those cases,
Truth?
like them type of women asking to be protected from all the wild shit that may come with what they doing. And that's not fair. But in certain instances, like I said, the women who like yeah, I don't know.
Protected from the hardships. Like girls
yeah, like
always want the
they
umbrella.
do want that. They do want that
I wanna
too
go
at the same
outside
time because that's
when
their
it's
natural.
raining.
That's their natural state.
Hold the umbrella so I
That's
can
their
get
natural
across.
state.
I want my hair not to get wet, but I want to swim. So hold my hair, but it's like so you
Type
can go
shit.
swim.
Yeah,
It's like now
yeah.
I'm gonna go swim and show y'all niggas I can do it on my own. So they
But
want protection as they move through
XYZ.
life and look.
But so ain't that but.
Do you feel like you protect your lady?
Yes.
Do you feel like you protect the women that you've been with?
Always.
And why I ask that stuff, do you think it's hard to protect a woman who walks contrary to you?
Yeah.
Because in an instance like this,
It is.
I'll use for example like 100% of these women who saying black men don't protect black women are single black women who don't have a man in their life.
You see the dudes they deal with.
But it's not a serious relationship, so
For
they
sure.
just. But yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying with this is, if you first off, you can't think you better than a man, and then want that man to protect you. Like you can't have all these altars. You can't be this strong black woman at one point, and you can do everything you can. And I'm gonna tell you, man, just from like. It's a podcast that'll shoot me a video to my inbox every so often. And I'm damn near fucking the motherfucker. I'm damn near Skip Bayless or somebody. To where they look for the contrary shit. So they use I know the play. But I go on here and it's like everything I say is contrary to the popular belief. So what they say is they say things like I didn't know that this was the notion out here. The popular consensus that black men stupid. This is how this particular, like, I always go back to liberal women. They look at black men like black men are fucking idiots. Like, that's how they look at us. And it's because if you're not in agreement with everything they say or do, you're not valuable to them. They want men who are fucking neutered. and do everything they say. And no, because like I had to quit arguing with niggas on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
Me and this nigga was going back and forth today. Cause I told him, I said, man, I said something about, I'm gonna make my jokes. I said, I'm sure she had on size 12 Air Force One, so she'd be okay. And he said something like, you have no empathy. I said, man, you got your mother's spirit on you. He said, you say that like it's something wrong. I'm supposed to have my mother's spirit on me. It gives me compassion. And I just laugh. You know what I'm saying? Him and me in this world, he's the fucking superhero. I'm dark-skinned Thanos. I got the plan shit to say humanity. We're going to get rid of half these motherfuckers, but they're going to come and kill me because I got the good plan. They don't want to hear my plan. Him being beta, he's what is looked upon as what men should be. Somebody who's super fucking soft. They confuse empathy with idiotic actions. They think that you're supposed to agree with everything they do, and that goes to my other question, like, have black women become beyond reproach? When was the last time you seen somebody criticize a black woman in public and not get, as they say, dragged or threatened with some kind of cancel culture? Do you think that black women become beyond reproach? Like, you can't tell them shit as a whole? Like, it's no leadership, no authority.
Yep.
Like, they don't look at it as do you think they look at it as authority figures?
You're right, but they don't have a strong figurehead that's in their right mind. All the ones that's ahead of them that they look to for inspiration and shit don't think the way women really supposed to be thinking. If you keep it 100%, you feel me? A lot of them is like you said, they just like kind of like disobedient in a way.
When you say how they think, how do you think women should think?
I just feel like they should just listen. You know what I mean? Be guided, listen and just like man, don't be trying to be ahead of the situation, because y'all like you want to be protected, but you want to be ahead, take charge, and have what this and that. Man, just chill. Y'all like the forefront. Better word for that, kind of like the behind, like he kind of step, like you gotta follow the lead. You know what I mean? Simple and plain. You gotta follow the lead, man.
You said what?
Yeah.
Women like the foundation, the stabilizer.
I definitely don't. I definitely am 100 billion % against women being the foundation.
Not the foundation.
I think they are the stabilizing factor in the foundation. I think they are the walls, if you want to use that. But the men are definitely the foundation.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I see what you're saying. That
like
maybe
that.
now
Yeah,
it's too
like
loose,
that.
but when I say foundation, I mean like it's what your center point, your balance.
If they allow you, you allow them to be, that's the thing.
The foundation
that's
of a good
the
man
thing.
is the most high.
That is for sure. That's
and I'm not saying that to be funny, but like the foundation of a good man is the most high. And when you got the most high as your foundation, you will get a good woman who supports your foundation. You know what I'm saying? Who adds on, you know what I'm saying? Like you build on. A woman is an accessory or a possession. But I'm going to use accessory in this particular announcement to where it builds you up. It edifies. It should. A good woman should edify you. It should amplify you. It should bring out your best qualities. And when the system is set up, and that's how come the divide is so fucking crazy, because it's set up because they know that together black men and black women are the most powerful unit in the world. But divided and shit like that, I always say the black women the Trojan horse of the black community. To where they should be there to help, but they've been pushed to where they want to supersede the man, where they want to dictate everything the man do. And it fucks up the structure.
But you gotta think, if they all pushed us, right, the ones that was doing right, then push the ones who was doing wrong to be better, we'd be good.
Hold on.
Maybe we our own.
But it ought to be on us.
The
I feel
meat
like accountability on us to be fix them. But
the thing is,
they just need to support the ones that's doing
the
right.
system is giving the woman the power.
Yeah.
But men in the know should try to regulate that shit.
Yeah.
And the way you regulate it is not protecting black women. You protect your particular tribe. You can only save the people around you. That's how come that's why I disagree with the notion that black women are unprotected. Because black women who walk righteously, you know what I'm saying, who don't walk contrary to their man, who don't try to supersede their man, try to beat a man in the particular, they not out here running around with I gotta hide these dope feeders. You know what I'm saying? They not running around with the Breonna Taylor fears. And I think it's an unfair way to use Breonna Taylor for these people because that has nothing to do with black men. That's egregious governing or police work. So I don't know how they can.
Well, they just saying that.
They say that because it's their, and I use the term narcissistic behavior is where they try to draw attention to themselves.
For sure, yeah, I mean, because that's.
We talked about this a couple episodes ago where you talk about all these black men got, like, you see a post where they show all the black men got shot by the police, and then women came back with like 6 black women and shit saying black women out here getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about all of us.
Black women get
But they have to have that shit directly
that's
on
the
themselves.
thing. Every time a case comes up, because we don't know about every case, but every time a case comes up, it's about all of us. That's, or at least that's what it should be. But
and that's what they're saying.
we had to
it's
start
getting lost in the rah-rah.
I mean,
But
some people like to do
Some people
do that.
I think
You know what I mean?
mainstream.
And that's for the mainstream. They doing that. They gonna feed that too, because it's a part of. It's gonna create division.
When
It's
you
gonna
say,
continue to create division.
yeah, when you say they only get lost in the rah-rah, what exactly do you mean?
Is that right?
When you say they only get lost in the rah-rah or the hoopla?
Who the girl?
Yeah. Like when we talk about when they say there was black women getting killed too. It's like
Oh
that.
yeah. I get it.
Like, what is the point of that? Because we talking about supposedly just black people, and like how anti or how like
But
anti-productive are you doing? Well, what about the black women?
because it's somebody who we was just kind of talking about this. Where it's like the main somebody they're following said don't forget or no that's shit man, too much weed. Somebody mentions it that hey, this is a good time to go and remind people that black women do face these fears as well. And it's like, yeah, and all the girls who probably didn't think about it, like, hey, we're talking about everybody, right? But you have a point. The learned smart so-called females know that statistically women are getting overlooked. So women are getting smarter.
Overlooked in what aspect?
In the talking pieces.
But how valid is that in the context of the whole story? Like, what is the
Psychology.
validity to that? Like, how does that alter what? If we're trying to fix the community, what does that do?
It's just like exactly what you
It's
said. You
narcissism.
fixing the community, you
Yeah.
get rid of all the drugs, and everybody's good. Crips and Bloods shake up, and it's wait, woman comes in, don't forget this. And that's what they're trying to do. Like, y'all not about to rebuild the city, and I think we're gonna say something. It's just like women have always been that way.
No, they haven't.
In a way,
They haven't.
in a way where it's
no,
like
they haven't. They were
I
galvanized.
watch
to do this.
men have to say, hey, I got this. Chill out. Check this out. I got this. It's like, well, it's like, I got
You
this.
said something.
So that's
you
what-
said something, and what you said, and it's where I got to take some of the blame away from the women. Men used to intervene.
Yeah.
Men have become an accessory
Yep.
to women. Men don't know how to be men no more. They've been
Yeah,
stripped.
that's
Men have been stripped of their
Stripped.
masculinity, and it
Stripped.
don't start today. It's some young shit. It starts when they've
And
already
you trail
pushed.
after that one idiot.
No, they pushed the black man out the house, as we alluded to several times on this podcast.
Yeah.
And you have a woman raising the boys. So now he's looking at the woman not like that's just my mother. You should always adore your mother. You should respect her, but you should never deify your mother. But this is how this generation of boys are, where they can't separate their mother from their manhood. Like I had to tell my mother, man. I used to have to tell my mother all the time, Mom, you ain't I'm not your child. I'm your son, but I'm not your child. I'm a man. I told my mother I'm a man. So you don't dictate me. You don't try to, you know what I'm saying? You can say something to me and stuff where I'm gonna regard and respect you as my mother, but I'm a man, and I thank the Most High all the time, because I'm gonna tell you like this. I was sitting around thinking one day, I'm glad that I'm the man that I am for my masculinity. Some people see my masculinity as over masculinity. They think, and today I'm called toxic masculinity. It's toxic masculinity, but you're homosexual.
I got set the ad libs.
Yeah, on everything. But the thing is, I'm like one of the last of the Mohicans, one of the last brohicans.
They all died too, boy.
And listen, I down my sword before I bitch up. So listen to this. So what I'm saying is, I'm structured. I'm the absolute epitome of structure. And my structure not based on my wills or my feelings, and it's how I feel like the Most High designed the world for men to be on top. Everything of value that I have learned firsthand in life has come from a woman. Every single thing I've learned to make, it's fucked up, because I sat down and thought about it one day. I'm talking about from childhood to adulthood. Yeah, who would bless me to be around women with ingenuity? Women who know how to make shit happen. And it's been influential on me from my birth to today. And I said, damn, that's crazy. And I said, it's a wonder that I'm not running around here worshiping women in that context.
Me too.
And I'm blessed. I'm blessed with the Most High, because the Most High will use women how He wants to use them. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Women are not incapable of influence or lead when they're supposed to, where they put in that position. But it's not a natural position. Sometimes the Most High give women these qualities and stuff to, you know what I'm saying, raise. But it's a blessing from Him that I was able to still maintain some bit of masculinity, because I tell people all the time, I have never had a man teach me how to be a man, so to speak. And it's a wonder that I'm as hard as I am, you know what I'm saying? To where, I don't know, because in my family, I'm the go-to man as far as like, I'm down to the patriarch of my family. I've ascended to that level, but everything I learned came from women. So it's not that women can't influence me, and I didn't take on their deficiencies, if I want to call it that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've grown with women who, like my sisters, my mother, they still got some of that bullshit in them. You know what I'm saying? But they women, and they not supposed to lead. We not supposed to. In the case of Megan Thee Stallion knows what she's trying to do. She's programmed. She's part of the program where they pushing these women and stuff to be the head. They trying to do it in hip hop. They trying to make women the center of hip hop, but in hip hop, talent rules. Talent rules in hip hop. So you can push all. I used to say this just a year and a half, 2 years ago. There's never gonna be two successful women at the same time. And boy, did they shut that shit down. Cause it's about 5 or 6 women out here who household names. And it's not based on just being super talented, because the super talented women, like Rhapsody, they not being highlighted. It's a particular woman they pushing on the community, and it's all for our detriment.
Woman empowerment. Somebody who's strong-minded, not afraid to. What they're saying is the men don't know what they need. The men are following the other men, the men that really like you.
So real quick, let's go to one next one. What exactly is a strong black woman? In your perspective, if you was to describe a strong black woman, what would you describe that as?
All right, easy answer. A woman who's not afraid to pick up the slack of quote unquote absent male in their life. Whether that be the father that didn't raise them all the way, or that the baby's father who's not there to support them, or just the relationship man who's playing Madden with his friend, and it's like, I don't care. Women always like the ones who, they don't care what the title of the job is, what the apartment complex is. They're going to lock it down. They're not going to say, well, I'm going to shack up one more year, split the rent with my girls, and then get my own car, and then maybe just run past a couple of these niggas' house, crash with them. They pause, they suck it up, they sacrifice right there, they all in.
What are they sacrificing?
They don't waste.
Hold on, what are they sacrificing?
From the male's perspective, I think they're sacrificing that freedom, right? That ability to be indecisive and go wherever you want to, when you want to. That's not there as a sacrifice.
When you say sacrifice, because I'm saying, what are they sacrificing?
That's a good question.
I feel like the inability to be a woman, I guess, because now you gotta do the other part.
You say they gotta do what?
The inability to just be a woman, because now you gotta do the other part.
What's the other part?
Work.
You gotta be a man. Like you can't come home and like cry to your man and depend on him to do all the house around the work and do stuff in the home and raise the kids and stuff like that. So I feel like.
But they pushing for no gender roles. They pushing for a woman can do what a man do. So if we pushing the thing that men and women are equal, and that they have the same rights or the same disposition throughout life, how do you call yourself a strong black woman for doing what you asked to do? If you asked to do it, you asked for this responsibility.
Strong black women, they push now is like. Yeah, like you said, I can do whatever I want. I can go here and be this. I can go here and do this. that's not even it.
Women have and this goes back to my non-reproach thing, is they have the ability to shrink from responsibility at their own convenience. They can always revert back to this damsel in distress.
Yeah.
One minute you can be this, I'm Wonder Woman, I'm what's the captain, what's the Avenger, what's the lady name?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
The one for the
Well, you
Avengers.
can go back.
Carol Daniels. What the fuck was that?
Wonder
Captain?
Woman. You can be-
Captain Marvel.
you can
I'm
be-
Wonder Woman. I'm Captain Marvel. I'm
You
Serena.
could be Wonder Woman, or they could be Wonder Woman, or what's old girl named Peter Parker girlfriend?
Mary Jane.
They could be Wonder Woman and Mary Jane.
And it's fucked up because even on the new Spider-Man game, they act like Mary Jane is fucking even Spider-Man.
What?
That's how they push it. But the thing is, they have the ability. And
courage to persevere and get
a
through
man
it.
shouldn't ever desire this, but we can't ever fall back and play victim. Ever. Not in the context of the man and woman relationship, but a woman always has that power.
Strong black woman is equivalent to like in the old Disney movie where you had to be kissed by the prince to wake up, the little princess. She woke up.
Nigga, I was already up.
She woke up and y'all like she figured out how to undo the spell, get some money. That's why they start calling us dumb. It's like they know how they get on their grind, so to speak, right away. Right out of high school, you see the girls talking about, oh, I'm getting an apartment. I'm like, what about your boyfriend? The dude be sitting there, I'm just gonna live with her. We're more indecisive, maybe.
Yeah.
And where does that indecisiveness come from? Do you think that men are raised to be leaders today?
No.
We weren't raised, but that's where the energy
No,
comes
there's
from.
different. It's broken up. Some like not as
Yeah,
much.
that's
That's not the. I'm gonna say that's not the push.
Mhm.
Like that's not the narrative that we're pushing. Like that's not the
We no
forefront.
leader.
That's not the agenda. You feel me? But it's on the low. Like
Why you
there's a
want that
couple.
leader?
There's a couple leaders being created on. I ain't gonna say on
Make fun
accident
of me, no
through
leader.
the Most High works. You know what I mean? Like he use certain men to put their lives with certain young men. You know what I mean? And we might keep watering the plants. You know what I mean? And have those few good men, but that's not being pushed as a narrative. It's not being pushed.
Like a leader to where?
Boys are being raised to be not held accountable for their actions. This is the
'Cause they're following.
most victim. This is the softest. We always talk about each generation gets softer, including my generation. I'm softer than it. We more soft than the generation before us. But it's a conditioning where you want to raise dudes to be dependent on women or have a victim mentality. Where you can't it's crazy because you see it all the time. You see grown ass men filming people and shit where they talking, oh, they call me a nigger. They call me. It's a fuck. What the fuck? How did you become this? How did we as men black men be reduced to this level of bitchiness?
Like, come on, man.
So
I'm not doing this.
when I speak on things, people think that I'm castigating women. Or they say, why are you talking like this about black women? I'm talking about a particular set. Or when I say niggas is bitches, I'm talking about the only people should be offended is the bitch niggas.
You feel me?
Real niggas should be real men shouldn't be offended by this. These are real women.
By that, man. And that's the thing.
I'm gonna tell you though, but I'm gonna tell you, it makes things more apparent to where this world is heading to, and how in the scriptures they talk about only a remnant going home. Only a remnant gonna leave in the first wave of the exodus. And like people say they believe in Most High, this, that, you know, people post this shit online all the time, but it's real and sincere because the women being conditioned in this world, and they love the position that women got in this world, man. It's hard for them to let go, to relinquish, because they already been programmed to think that they was victims, that they're not being protected. So any kind of power they get, any kind of authority they get over a man, they're gonna take it and they're gonna stunt. A woman, that's why I say men and women shouldn't work together, especially with a man is a woman subordinate, because the power of flex happens. It's going to be hard for people who get esteemed in this system to go to the next system. Because women have been trained in this system that I can do it just like men. We 50-50. Do you feel like you and your woman 50-50?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
That's a yes or no. Do you feel like you ever 50-50 with a woman? I'm not talking about splitting the fucking light bill.
nah.
I'm talking about fucking his responsibility.
No,
You
like
think that y'all share the responsibility to
the
lead?
innate ability,
Yeah,
no.
no,
On the
yeah,
inside,
yeah.
you don't feel
Nah, hell
you're
no, I'm
50-50 or
gonna
equal.
say-
But that's where it becomes a protection because we know that all men know that in our hearts, but it's we don't want to grow up or whatever that immaturity may be. At that particular moment, it seems the girls always want you a little bit early. So it's like, oh, if you're gonna go ahead and build a house, I won't leave, but I'm not gonna build it with you. It's the immaturity, and then it's lopsided, and we get an early start on breaking their heart, while they get an early start on realizing that, damn, this nigga's not gonna be here forever. Stop.
And those realizations don't even start in that particular relationship. You grow up seeing this. You grow up it being projected to you in movies, entertainment, with social media, people crying about the same shit. Like women, all the women cry about the same shit. All the men talk about the same shit. It's like a program and shit that nobody is detached from. But what's gonna be a stark contrast for this world and the next world is they're gonna be shocked at the limited power they have, the limited authority. And some women ain't gonna be able to adapt to that. They gonna see exactly how the Most High intended and shit to where your man gonna dominate you. But if he's righteous, he gonna dominate righteous. Ain't nobody gonna be unrighteous in the kingdom. He ain't gonna be punched upside the head and stuff saying rap stallion. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna bust her in the cat with no shoes. But it's a distinct system how men and women should relate to each other, and people won't be able to adjust to that shit. Say what? Yeah, you ain't, man, listen, you ain't supposed to be a street women. Like, I'm defiantly against men who mistreat women.
They won't notice.
But you treat bitches like concubines.
They won't notice the lack of, or the power structure. When it's done right, women don't notice that there's a power structure. They feel protected.
Power structure.
It is, but they feel protected. The U.S. has a power structure in their military, but I don't look at it like, oh,
You
I
trying to
look
be
at it
better
like,
than me?
That's my.
You think you're the
that's my-
general?
That's my firepower right there.
Yeah.
Mr. Side Sabri right
And it goes all the way back to the core. And that's why I say you gotta protect your tribe or raise your particular tribe right. That's how come it's up to us as black men who see these things to raise our children to see these things.
tough, man.
No, it's not. It's not tough at all.
Everybody's following
If you
the
hands
guy in the
on,
corner.
nigga, it's not tough. They want you to think it's tough. They want you to think that it's some shit that can't be done. But if you a man, you command the respect of your tribe, that shit ain't tough. Cause this what it is. Anybody who non-compliance, if they walk contrary to you, you gotta walk contrary to them. You can't be right and chasing down a woman trying to get her to behave.
I can't say it's not tough. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's tough. It's not impossible. It's tough. Because
What
you got the
what
Amish-
exactly tough
The
though?
Amish living in the forest, trying to stay away from the
I
shit.
feel like, you know what I had to,
Like,
what I had
the
to learn.
Saudis don't want this shit.
I had
like,
to learn it's only tough when you make it tough. Like you trying to you trying to adapt to the situation for the most part.
My homegirl
Do you think you should adapt to women?
I feel like you just, I feel like you gotta find one that's
When
gonna do
you're
what you want to
open.
do.
She said the scheme of Shaitan is made strong.
I don't feel like it
You
is-
said the what? Hold on.
The scheme of Shaitan is made strong.
What exactly did she mean by that though?
You have to listen to her album.
See, man, don't
That's
be her
Lauryn-
offering shit that
that's
you can't
Lauryn Hill.
substantiate.
No,
What's
I
that
do
mean?
know what she means by
What
that.
I mean in your
Okay.
perspective, though?
Yeah.
No, what she means by that is that the idea of the devil, or depending on what religious text you read, Shaitan, devil, the
Yeah.
idea behind that is it's not supposed to be easy. If his schemes were easy to duck and dodge, then this life would be over. They get better as you go. The temptations, the ways in which they come at you, your children, I mean, big time. Like all the old heads say, what the youth have to go through would be more challenging than us because they're becoming more deceptive about how they're reaching you in their influences. It's a little bit more innocent, or it's a little bit more blatant, or it's more out in the open.
I'm gonna tell you
Or
something to
more-
support that. I'm gonna tell you why I agree with that. And it's crazy because I was laying down, I was thinking earlier. And I was just thinking about like all the things that we face in this particular world as compared to our ancestors. I didn't go back to this American history shit. I went back to Egypt. I'm like, damn, they was in captivity. I said, but they was closer to the Most High than we was, as far as they knew their exact tribe. They knew exactly where they came from. When we scattered, they dealing with shit where they can't quit worshiping Baal. They want to sacrifice their children. We got so much diabolical shit that we can get into with no remembrance of where we from. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the taxes on us heavy because we born into this shit. We born into chasing the American dream and sacrificing what the Most High got paid for.
Going straight into it, as opposed to where you have something, then you get a little taste of something else, and you're like, man, I might want this.
Yeah.
And it's but yeah, that's what you said. Because when you come to this earth, you start looking around. Everybody else chill mode. It's like, oh, chill out, man.
Because we saw the American dream before we even have any idea nothing going on.
Bro, I've been tweaking about that.
What you say?
I've been tweaking about that whole, thinking about that heavy, about the whole realization that, man, this world is.
This is a fucked up
in
place.
less than a minute, you could be dealing with this whole who is Drake, who is Meg Stallion.
Yeah, like this is low. This is a low level conversation that precipitated this. Like it's some shit being said on here though, but the what we started off with Megan Thee Stallion and the whole scope of the world. Who in the fuck is Megan? And this nigga named Daystar. Tory Lanez real name is Daystar. I just found that out. I'm disappointed that the nigga named Daystar. But this is what galvanizes, what captures all of us. And I'm so glad that I had the ability to compartmentalize shit. Like, I'm not overly engulfed. I had to tell a couple people in that little shit. Those are your idols. Y'all man.
You have to call them that too. I used to think y'all was being dramatic.
Idol shit.
There was a lot of shit that could be broken down in there.
You said what?
There's a lot of shit that could be broken down in there with a sense of right.
Yeah.
So it's like, it ain't like I'm paying attention to these motherfuckers. It's like, man, what the fuck is going on? You feel me? Because all y'all watching this shit, all y'all talking about, that's the problem. You feel me? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like you said, it's gonna be a few motherfuckers that it's gonna be that motherfucker in the class. He being bad, he get in trouble, he send him to the teacher, cool. But when he start being bad, and he influencing this nigga to be bad, and they influencing this nigga to be bad, and then they influencing the whole class to be bad. Now you gotta get rid of these 3, 4, 5 motherfuckers, or whatever the case may be. But it's like, yeah, man.
So it's up to like it always seemed like it's about the women. The women is just for the conversation, but when you get to the core of it, you gotta get to men. I say all the time, this is the weakest lot of black men in the history of life. This is as weak as black men have ever been, and it's embarrassing. Niggas is shameful today. If you sit down and you think about it, man, you think about how many niggas you know who actually handle their business, who control their situations around them and stuff without fear, without regard to what the world thinks or how the world operates.
Most people don't know what that means, bro.
And
what does that even mean?
And the people who get it supposed to get it, man.
Right,
and you will lose yourself thinking that you're supposed to teach everybody, you're supposed to leave everybody. When you walk in anything righteous or the truth, you can start off with a group. But the more accountability you gotta have, the more demands on you being righteous, people fall away. Because it's a burdensome task. So you start understanding what he said on the remnant going on. You start seeing that shit. You start seeing all the people in your family who don't listen. You start seeing all your friends who don't listen. You start saying like, shit, I gotta make new friends when I get to the king.
Listen, right,
shit like that.
That righteous is tough, man. For I think everybody, yeah. It's tough.
What do you mean by that?
Because to live righteous means you gotta take the tough path. You gotta take the sacrifices. When somebody's probably done you wrong, society's probably done you wrong, or your chips were stacked against you, or wasn't stacked high enough, how you say the cliche. And it's like these kids are coming up, and you, it's go back to the classroom analogy. Man, I'm in here with this class, but I see the rest of the niggas in the hallway acting a fool, but the teacher, okay, hold on now. And I'll just be righteous, and one day you'll graduate, go to the kingdom, and you get your degree. But I see them out there clapping cheeks in the hallway, bro. My temptations as a human while I'm in this moment is saying, you want some of that?
But this
go
is the
obtain
thing,
it like that, because they found it faster than stay in the class and do righteous.
If it's 10 people over here fucking up and there's 2 people over here doing right, I'm not saying that this 10 was, these 2 motherfuckers, they had the fucking will to say no. So it's not an impossible thing. It's about what you adopt in your mind is what you can do.
Nah, still niggas were sitting by the door. Y'all didn't see. Nah, I say, you didn't see what I saw.
That's the thing, man. No,
you let them see. They like, oh shit.
That's the thing, because like
they
the law,
scared.
The law of the Most High. That's what righteousness is, like obeying the law or keeping the law in a high regard. It's not doing everything right, doing everything perfect, but at least having that desire to. When you look at the law and shit, you don't look at it as something that's grievous. You don't look at it as something that's like, man, I gotta go do this because the Most High said it. He don't want you to do shit like that. He don't want you to worship him grievously. So if that's what you want to do, you free to go do it. But in the words of Joshua, we gonna serve Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? We over here, and I'm not saying it like on some high and mighty shit though, man. But I'm understanding like the realization that this world is temporal. This shit's almost over. So I'm not gonna be adopting everything that they doing in this particular world. I'm not gonna fucking cast my whole fucking lots and gamble on some shit that's already over. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is when you go over here and shit like if you have faith in this world, then that's where your faith at. If you plan on living in the next world or the next authoritative kingdom, then you gotta start thinking about kingdom things. You gotta have a kingdom mindset.
Like the stories being
Because
retold.
one thing real quick, you're not gonna get in the kingdom and then just turn a switch. If you're not in compliance over here, you will not be in compliance over here. If you so adapted to this world, this custom, this traditions that you can't shake them here, you won't be in the kingdom.
You gotta be born again this lifetime.
Definitely. And that's a renewed mind and spirit. You gotta let the Ruach come into you, but this shit's crazy. Black women who walk in trade and black men will never be protected. They will always depend on the powers of this system and stuff to get them through. Cause that's just you don't ever
They
do
can't
it.
walk. They at home right now, and I hate to push back. They at home right now saying we ain't got no choice but to walk contrary because y'all don't even know where y'all walking. That's what they saying. Like we gonna follow y'all. Like where you going?
But then, and when you say,
And
see that's the nigga.
With what? My
that's
keys?
not contrary to them though. That's not contrary. That's going exactly where they going. That's exactly where they going though. So they're not walking contrary to a goddamn Tory Lane. He's doing the exact same. He probably was fucking twerking too.
Who they listening to?
Yeah, I mean, but it's all gonna come out as supposed to. But it's a sad situation. I hope that glass healed from hopping in her foot.
They was drunk, man. It probably ricocheted or something. But
I just, in person, I don't know what happened, but I highly doubt if she got popped in both feet.
Nah.
Like, it just don't even make, I've never in the history of life heard nobody get shot in both their feet. Never. And I've seen a lot of fucking movies that involve
She said they had to
gunshots.
take the bullet out or maybe some shards.
That's what she said, man. I guarantee if you see a doctor report, nigga, they gonna say they took debris out. Because nobody gets shot. Hey, you ever heard anybody got shot in both of anything? He got shot in both his fingers. It's easy to get your hand shot off. I ain't never seen somebody get shot in their right hand and left hand. Now, what are you like? Who in the fuck? Now, Tory Lanez is a little short nigga, but I highly doubt if he's shooting at the bitch's feet.
He was drunk, right at the gun hanging down on the black man. What the cop? What?
And I believe
Oh,
it's an
shit,
accident,
bro.
whatever
What the
happened.
fuck, bro?
But, and I think that, and you gotta understand
That's why he
that
got real quiet after.
everything is scripted. This is definitely gonna be about some publicity
Or
shit. This
Will
is
be
not.
scripted.
No, I believe
After
that
they-
everything is scripted.
I think it's an
This is
improv
like-
script. Like, oh, well, let's script that. That's y'all done did that dumb shit.
That could be it too.
Let's flip it a little bit.
Anything you want to say in closing?
Hey, you kind of cute, but that's good.
When, nigga? You attracted to
Get
niggas?
the fuck out
Sell
of
the
here.
tar?
Huh?
What was you about to say? That mic take over everything. You get
Yeah, relax. No, he said Melvin was a church.
Oh, I'm like, yeah, what's going on?
Have you ever just looked at her? Hold on, man. I don't want to come off like no hater and shit now.
Like, I've
Oh,
seen her, but
man.
she looked like one of the classic
You talking about-
Barbie-ish
Oh, okay.
type girls.
I joke around and shit all the time, but I go look at her without makeup before I see. She ain't no ugly motherfucker. But I hate for somebody to be like, I told you I was a man, and then I be like, I said that nigga wasn't ugly at one point in time. So I'm still on the fence about this shit because I actually don't know. I believe it's transsexuals in the industry and shit that being passed off as women. So I want to be until she has a baby.
Maybe that's
and
what
stuff
Tory
like that.
Lanez found out.
That's
He
what everybody
started
said too.
shooting,
That's
bro.
one of the jokes that's going around
fucked
that
up.
he got hit with deadly.
You watch
He
the
pulled out
video,
the
she
beam.
wasn't saying too much.
Say what?
You know, yeah, I
She
don't
said
know.
that she don't want to have her life on Instagram. She's not the type of person, which is very contrary to her. But it's not really about Megan as much as it is this particular brand of women who feel they're not being protected. You got anything you want to offer to the unprotected, strong black queens who can do everything on their own except be accountable?
In all honesty, they just have to pass out. I mean, not pass out, but like pass on. These waves gonna come. You can't fix everybody. Shit,
Yeah.
I'm learning that about people, family, like my junior. and other people.
You too young to give up on.
No, I'm not giving up on them. I'm just saying certain tendencies, certain things that they're gonna see along the way. Some things are gonna be who they are. As I look at myself, it's like shit. Some things just gonna be the way they are. So you can't give up on them, but maybe, just maybe, all of them love the Malcolm X. Hood bitch or not hood bitch, love Malcolm X or Tupac.
They love ideas.
Sophisticated or a hood, love Tupac. So good and bad can go either way if the example is a strong one. No matter, I think Malcolm and Tupac contrary in a way. So no matter which side of the spectrum, if they confident they have them alpha, they know where they're going, all women are joining. And they're going to join as a team. Those who want more than one wife or woman.
You said what?
Yeah, they do.
I don't understand
Yeah,
shit.
they do.
He went
Women-
from Tupac to fucking.
I'm saying women do the most contrary things when the man is on point.
Yeah.
My woman say, I'll never have a dude that has another woman. I turn around, see these African sheiks coming over who been investing in some water well. Three, 4 wives. Yeah, invest in water in Africa. You come back with 6 wives. All of them happy. They help you find an 8th if you need. Snitch
Tired
on
doing
them.
all them dishes. We need to get somebody here to do these dishes.
Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer.
Hey, anything you want to say close the Jimmy?
Make sure you check out the Conceited Knowbody episode 138. Streaming on all platforms tomorrow. Be safe out there, man. Stay sucker free. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to Chicago, Jason. He in Chicago. He's gonna be here with us this week. Hopefully he'll be back next week. Nate was supposed to come through and kick it. That nigga text me with that oh man, I overslept. He hit me with that overslept shit. I overslept, man.
Mask on.
And then he hit me with the emoji that do like this. He hit me with that emoji.
That's a Kevin.
I said what?
That's a Kevin, bro.
Another fantastic episode of the best podcast you never heard of. Conceited Knowbody. We be back next week. Catch us.
The Conceited Knowbody. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m.